We have a number of cases, about 5, which have had, you remember of Ekesa Corp. We have also cases of abuse of funds in a few Saccos, like, Musco collapse, and there were also complaints filed with the regulator, and all those are part of the investigations which are going on. The fraud unit is still a unit undergoing legal strengthening, because again we have the EACC who have the mandate, but they signed an MOU to refer cases. They investigate and refer cases to EACC. Our intention was to speed up and conclude cases that are related to fraud. And on the Central Liquidity Fund is an idea that we want to roll out. It's still under formation. The policy and regulatory framework is not yet in place, but it's an idea that we are pushing so that we assure safety of money in cooperative and in a bank are same. So central liquidity requires that any deposit-taking Sacco will be able to make a deposit, secure it somewhere within the regulator, so that in the event of a challenge, you can be able to call on that fund and service any customer who has come to the bank. For us as government, we will promote the introduction of shared technology. We will allow even yourself in the media, if you form the Sacco or any other person who comes up with a shared facility, will be encouraged by government. The most important thing is, what are the rules? In the event X borrows from Y and they default, what actions will be taken? So there will be a regulator at the middle, a referee, to ensure that compliance and also play by the rules. So we will now set the limit. We might say we are proposing 30, at least minimum societies, because it's a game of numbers. So the more these economies of scale and a game of numbers. So we will be setting a reasonable number of Saccos that one platform will be allowed to now provide service. So this is just one of them. Number one, we've just concluded, and I will be issuing a new schedule of charges by SASRA, which enhances their revenue and by extension give them additional capacity to supervise and oversight all Saccos in Kenya. So that will give them additional. Now, by bringing on board all Saccos, my objective and government objective is to ensure any Sacco that is engaging members and collecting money or having revenue or some small deposits, even though they are not deposit taking, there is still money and financial services being offered. There is need for them to file returns, at least on bare minimum. So we have separate threshold, we have separate requirements for deposit taking, which are very high as what banks are expected to have. But below that, we have over 2,000 Saccos who sometimes don't see their second birthday, and they collapse with so much of the community mobilized resources. So to ensure integrity and continuity and the image, protect the image of the movement, then there is need for them to have some minimum requirements. We have had attacks, or rather people forming Saccos with the intention to defraud members of the public. So to address that idea, anybody coming or thinking like that, is to have them continuously file returns with SASRA. So that doesn't mean that they will have to meet the expected requirements over deposit taking.
CoopTech is aimed at uplifting our cooperative movement in terms of their financial operations, efficiencies and security to a higher level, to a digital world, so to say. So you know what we are solving 2 or 3 problems through this platform. This platform will be an enabler of cooperatives to collaborate together so that we can have a shared services to to enable cooperatives and Saccos to borrow from each other, number one. Number two, to facilitate interlending and allow payments both internally and externally. So it's a good beginning. We are moving forward. We will save a lot of money for cooperatives. Instead of each society or a Sacco spending 300 million to buy a similar system, collectively now we are saying that money can be given as loans to their members by using this platform. Our biggest competitors will be Kenya Commercial Banks, Equity Bank, because our platform is equal to what the biggest top 3 commercial banks are having. It's a core banking system and a most powerful digital platform. It's one in everything. HR module, whatever module you are looking for, it's available.